Welcome into a Packers offensive breakdown of their game against the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously not the result you want, a close game in the end, but you need to play a full game, not just a second half. So let's take a look at some of these plays, what they did well, and what they can continue to work on. Starting out on this first play, I think the Packers abandoned the run way too early. The passing numbers, there's 56 dropbacks to 19 rushes. And early in the game, this is one of the very early plays, they're moving the ball. This is a nice little counter. Got the split zone action. Fake as if you're running that split zone. And then you've got Ryan that pulls and is going to kick out that backer. And you get more than 10 yards. So this action early on in the game, it was working. They were moving the ball. It's just once the score gets to be, a 2-score lead, 2-touchdown lead, I think the play caller started to panic a little bit, and it got way too pass heavy, way too quick, and they were trying to score a bunch of chunk plays, and we'll see that in a little bit. Here you've got one of the few plays where they don't really disguise much. This is a cover 3 sky, so they're showing that one high post safety. So you're going to have 3 deep, and you've got Harrison Smith, your strong safety. He's going to be in that curl to flat. You're going to have another curl to flat here, and then 2 hook zones. And this is just going to be a nice clear. You got the vertical clear by Watson, and of course you've got that basic, that dig route over the middle, and Reed is wide open. So early on, Packers were moving the ball. We know that this drive ends up stalling, but again, they're able to move the ball quite efficiently here when they're playing within the scheme. But I think later on, they start to push too vertical on their passing routes. Here we're going to have a wide open Wicks on an underneath route. That is unfortunately going to be a miss. Jordan Love steps up, takes his hitches, and is not able to get the completion here. So you get some pressure off the edge here. Pocket's beginning to collapse. Right, he's got to step up. Wicks has got some freedom there, so he's going to work to that open space. That's going to be just put right in front of him. And I don't know if we can really see it from this angle, from the end zone angle, but there's not a lot of space for this ball to fit in, so that's really the only spot he could throw it in. We'll let this zoom fast forward a little bit. And then once he's able to release this, steps up, because you've got what Flores loves doing. They lead the league in pass deflections by a significant margin, but you've got Van Ginkel there that's just spying at the line, waiting for that ball to come in, and he's going to get his hands up. That's very, very hard to see on the film. The TV angle was actually better because that is a tight squeeze beyond his hand. So the other option is he's a little bit more patient here, but it's hard to be a patient when you've got the pocket collapsing. So he decides to rip this ball, and unfortunately it's going to be low because he's got to get rid of it quick, probably holding onto the ball a little bit too tight, and unfortunately incomplete, leads to a missed field goal. All right, next you've got these confusing looks. Again, you've got all these guys at the line of scrimmage. What are they going to do? Are they going to bring pressure? Are they going to drop out? This is going to be a case. They rush 4. You've only got 4 rushers. They've dropped out. And you've got Tampa 2, essentially. You got 2 high safeties. You got a deep middle read here. So he's running with Musgrave, but he decides to pass him off because he looks back. He sees the ball already in the air. So he's going to cut back and break on that. And I just don't think this is a good read at all by Jordan Love. All right, so he sees that leverage right by Kraft. So by the time he's ripping this ball, he's anticipating, he's reading this defender here. I don't think he sees the middle defender. So he's reading that defender, sees his leverage towards Kraft, and he's just going to throw it towards Watson, and unfortunately Watson gets hurt there. I think there was potential to get it to Kraft if he's just a little bit more patient. If he uses his eyes, right, to move that defender, then he can get Kraft, and Kraft spins out towards the sideline, probably gets 2 extra yards and a first down on a 3rd down. But I just think Love a little bit too confident here. I don't think he saw that middle read, or if he did see it, he was anticipating that Tampa 2 to be deeper. So you're going to see this drop out here by 54. All right, he's looking at the routes. He sees what the route combination is. Then he gets his eyes back to the QB, sees the ball is in the air, stops his Tampa 2 drop, and is able to pick it off. So good play by 54 there. Not so sure about the read from Love. Another thing that was great throughout this game was the pass protection. This is going to be a play where pass protection is not so great, but that's just because of the Vikings' defensive effort. We see a sack here, but this slide protection is actually called correctly. So Jordan Love did a good job calling the protections all game. O-line actually protected quite well. And you're going to see here why on the side with Emmanuel Wilson. So this is going to be a full slide to the right. And then there's that little stunt at the end that gets him beat. All right, so you're going to have that outside edge rusher twist inside and occupy Wilson. All right, so he's not able to get his hands on that edge rusher and then bounce out. His eyes are locked in. So then that's going to open up this outside rush. So that's just good defense. Wilson notices it too late, and that's what leads to the sack. This one I'm not going to break down too much. This is Musgrave causing an interception because it's intended for Dobbs there. And I kind of agree with Musgrave here. It's a little bit hard to tell because something that the Packers love to do on 1st and 2nd down, just do a quick hitch, a spot route, sit there, get 5 yards, make the next down easier. So he sits down, but he's got to also be aware that there's a slant coming behind him, right? So he's got to know that this route is coming behind him, and if it's a high ball, right, he's got to jump for that. And if he doesn't tip it, Dobbs is able to pull that in, and it's going to be a first down, right? I think that's Love trying to take that shot there. He's got that open window, and it's just unfortunate from Musgrave thinking that he was the intended target. Tips it, throws it off for Dobbs, and just going to be a pick for the Vikings. So 2nd interception of the game, probably not entirely on Love, probably a little bit on that route combination, and that confused Musgrave a little bit, thinking that he was the intended receiver, even though he was not. Once the game got out of hand, this is what Love started to get away from. This is going to be a check down over here on that right side. This is, again, 3rd and 10. So it's not even 3rd and very long. This is 3rd and 10, but you can see that coverage, right? Sending a lot of vertical routes deep. And then you've got Kraft underneath, and he's going to be able to catch this and work for a first down. And there were multiple times throughout this game where there were opportunities to check down, even on one of the later interceptions, where there's clearly an opportunity to check down and get the first down. But Love decides to force it, and we'll look at it a little bit later. But this is what you need to do against aggressive teams like this. They're playing passive in coverage, playing deep, hoping that they're going to be able to make a tackle before the sticks. Unfortunately, they're not able to do that then. And Love just needs to be a little bit more secure with the football. Another one of those looks. This is a very tough to tell what coverage they're going to do. If I had to quiz you, what would you say this is going to be? All right, is it going to be 0? Is it going to be a 2? Is it going to be 3? What are they going to drop into from this? All right, so let's take a look. You've got a double mug, 2 linebackers in the A gap. And what is it? This ends up being a 2-man. You've got man coverage across the board. You've got the Mike that is taking the tight end. You've got man over here, which they get locked up within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, so no penalty. Same thing here, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, there's contact. And then you just have a bad ball that's thrown behind because you're trying to escape this pressure off the right side. So Zach Tom gives some pressure there. I think that he had 2 pressures in this game. Those are the first two pressures that he's given up all season. So he was still the highest rated player on PFF on the Packers offense, but this is one of those where he's going to give up pressure, right? You still get the slide protection, right? So they had a full slide to the right. I think Wilson, if he stays in here, I think he was anticipating one of those backers to come in the middle. And once they drop out, he feels his job is over. So he slides out, and that leaves Tom on an island, and it makes it a tougher throw for Love. Here we go. Another deep shot for some reason. We got Kraft staying in here on the right side. He's going to do a check release. So you've already got these defenders at 10 yards. And then you've got 3 verticals here. It's a 4th down. And Love is deciding to throw this to Melton. All right, so you still have the 2 high safeties back here. And if you check it down at this moment, I think Kraft is going to get that 1st down again. And instead decides to throw it deep on 4th down rather than giving your team a chance to get the 1st down and keep the drive moving. And it gets tipped away. So turnover on downs there. Near interception, throwing it into double coverage. Just not quite sure why he's processing that, especially on a 3-man rush. I think he probably felt a little bit more rushed. Thought his receiver could come down with it. So I like the confidence, but unfortunately stalls the drive, gives Minnesota good field position. I think Jordan Love was mentally not ready for this defense. I mean, just throw it here. All right, this is a 3rd down and 3. And Wicks is there at the sticks. He is right on the 1st down line. 1st down line is here. Wicks is a yard beyond it. All you have to do is fit it in there, and it's a 1st down. You keep the offense moving. Instead, he rolls out and throws it late. Forces it into coverage. He sees Dobbs there late. And because he's rolling out under pressure, he gives the safety time to react and throws it into double coverage there at the end. So it just, I don't know why he feels the need to take these shots. I know they were down by a lot, like multiple touchdowns, and they had already missed a couple field goals. So he's trying to play hero ball this entire game, right? And instead of just following the scheme, fitting within the offense, taking what's there and moving the ball, he's just taking these shots, and it's really unnecessary. So first half was not a great game, or first half for Jordan Love. Here we just have a hell of a play by Jaden Reed. Good route. All right, a little bit of a stutter. Gets beyond that burst and a nice catch. Bails out the offense after getting a 15-yard penalty. Right, Matt LaFleur lost his cool a little bit, wanting the officials to challenge within the 2 minute, and puts the offense further back. But Reed is able to get a nice catch here. Love with enough air on this ball to give his receiver a chance. So you start to see things kind of turn around here near the end of the first half. Just a great ball there. Able to come down with it, score Packers' first touchdown. And then next couple plays, we're just going to focus on Wicks. Again, within the scheme here, that's a 1st down. You've just got to catch it. Right? Throws it behind him a little bit, trying to slow him down so he doesn't get absolutely killed by the safety that's crashing down. So Love is throwing that with a purpose, back shoulder, right? Because 24 is coming downhill, and if he leads him, that's going to be a much bigger hit. He's just got to come down with it. And a little bit later, we've got another play, pass to Wicks. Wicks does a good job here. Looks like it's cover 2. I think he's a little bit late on this as well. I think if Love is ready for this, this is a 4th down. You can see the sticks here. 4th down. I think he's a little bit late because you have that safety that is occupied almost immediately by this seam route. And I think you just have to rip it in there, right? Because by the time he's got this much leverage, if you put the ball here at the 12. Safety is going to have a hard time getting there, and this DB is going to have a hard time recovering. But this is just going to be late. He sees that way too late, throws it up there, a little bit too much air. May have been interfered with. It's a little bit hard to tell from this angle. He gets there a little bit early, but it's not too bad. You still have to come down with that as a receiver. Even if you're getting hands put on your chest, you should be tracking this ball. All right, good protection. You're up there, high pointing it. And goes through your hands, hits you in the chest. So he's just got to come down with that. That's a big touchdown. Even though he might have a guy, wrapped around him, it wasn't too far off from a clean play. So then Wicks, after having a few drops there, comes back with a nice solid route and scores a touchdown late in the game here. Nice little release. Musgrave does a very good job of opening this up. All right, so he's going to attack that linebacker, head to the corner, and then you've just got this under. It clears a lot of space, a nice rub route there. Wicks does a good job. Number one thinks here they're going to be switching on that. Not sure who was in the wrong, either 44 or number one, but an easy touchdown for the Packers. And we've got another touchdown here late. This is just a quick RPO. He sees the leverage here. All right, so he's got that run pass option. He's going to see that leverage, so he can either give this run or he can just get it out into the flat, and then we're going to block. So he sees, based on this alignment, right, this is going to be man. So you have a safety here that's going to be man on Kraft. You're going to have this DB that's man here, and he's just willing to take this shot. All right, so it's a quick flat. Get it out there. Kraft just has to make one guy miss. Wicks there blocking. He's able to truck him and get a touchdown. So nice read there on that RPO and a good touchdown by the Packers. This next play, you're going to notice the focus that they have on Reed. So number 7 has his eyes watching Reed here. It is a cover 3 zone, and I think that's what gets Minnesota in trouble here. You can see number 7 sees that middle open, so he's got his hips already facing that direction as if he's going to break on this. And then once he realizes that the ball is in the air here, he's got to recover and try to make this play. And he's just not able to. So we get a big play there, obviously, on this comeback attempt. Moving the ball downfield. And then on the very next play, you decide to do something like this. All right, 1-on-1, out deep, throws it too far inside. Understand why he throws it too far inside. All right, he gets this pressure. Again, you've got that pressure look. This time, everybody is going except for one that drops out late, which means you're going to have a free rusher here. And he's just going to fade away like he usually does. All right, but that's going to cause him to throw this ball too far inside rather than outside. He's not able to get any weight behind it, just throwing all arm, and that's going to create some inaccuracy. So he's got a guy in his face, got Harrison Smith bearing down, he fades away. Unfortunately, ball floats too far to the inside. Wicks isn't able to recover, and that's the 3rd pick of the game. All right, here we're going to have some of those deep routes that we're talking about. I know it's late in the game. They've got to get a score, but you're going to have a vertical there. You're going to have essentially a 20-yard dig, right? And a 20-yard dig. So you're going to have 2 digs there while you still have this vertical route. And this is just going to be a good job by Reed on the inside here. And he's going to read the leverage of the DB and switch his route. So we got just a 4-man rush. Love is going to get outside the pocket. And you're going to see that dig, right? It's supposed to be coming down this way, down this way. And he's going to be trying to break on that because, the Packers have been throwing these digs the entire game, the entire season. We've seen it so many times. And he's just going to push it upfield and catch that. nice big time catch, which is going to set up the next score. All right, we'll focus on number 24 back here, the safety. This is just going to be a quick out down here, and then on the backside, you're actually going to have a post. All right, so pretty much this entire game, right? They've been attacking the middle of the field with a dig, and that's what number 24 is going to anticipate. He thinks that Dontavian Wicks is going to run a dig here, but instead he runs a post. He goes over the top, so that forces him to lose his momentum. He's got to turn his hips to try to catch up, and Love is just going to fit it in the window there for a nice score. So in the end, I think the Packers just had too many mistakes to overcome. You had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble by Kraft, which I didn't show. That was just a good defensive play. I think LaFleur started to panic a little bit after they were down 2 scores and started to push the ball up the field too much, and that led to some bad decisions by Love. But once Love started to calm down, things were okay in the second half. Still had a few mistakes on that 3rd interception, for example, but I wouldn't be too worried about Love going forward. I think he's still definitely the quarterback of the future. It's just, I think he was a little bit hesitant going against one of the best defenses in the league. So if you guys enjoy this content, please subscribe. I appreciate it. And I'll be back tomorrow with a breakdown of the Packers defense. And of course, I'll try to get a preview of the Packers-Rams game coming up this weekend. So take care, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.